Welcome to Homework 3.1, Section 3.1, Introduction to Graphing. Well, I'm going to change it up a little bit, my approach to doing my lectures here. I'm going to start in the middle of the homework because they're showing you, let's make it just a little bit bigger here. Let's make it even bigger. Wow, we can make it super big. Okay, this is your classic piece of graph paper that we used to have way back when, where you have some grid lines, and that's what we used back then before we had computers. But in terms of graphing, you have to understand that to graph a point requires two numbers. Okay, like in this case they want us to plot this point right here. -1, -3. Okay, that's a coordinate. These are called coordinate pairs, where the first number is considered the x coordinate and this is the y coordinate. Now, what does that mean? See, what they want you to do when you graph something is understand that the grid paper is divided into 4 regions, and those 4 regions are divided using these axes. These are the major axes. This is the y-axis. The y-axis gives you the vertical coordinate, and this is the x-axis, which generates the horizontal coordinate. And when they want you to graph this one point, what they're asking you to do is you start in the center of the world, and that center of the world, by the way, is called the origin. That happens to be a point 0, 0. Okay, what they want you to do is go horizontally -1 units. So what they want you to do is go horizontal -1 unit. Grab onto that point. Okay, so I went over -1 unit in 1 unit in the negative direction, and then what they want you to do is graph -3 vertical units. So -3 would be over here going down. So you move horizontal, then vertical. The negative indicates the direction that you want to go. Positive would bring you to the right, negative brings you to the left. As far as the y is concerned, positive brings you up, negative brings you down. And this is basically how you plot this one point right there. Check your answer. Great job. Okay, now this here requires a bigger amplification. Let's do that. I think that's all we really need. Now what they want you to do is, okay, they labeled some points on this graph paper. They want you to say, well, what is this point A? Well, that point A, okay, let me put it over here, is got to be written like so, with parentheses and two numbers, the x coordinate and the y coordinate, and it's always in that order. So I start in the center of the world, the origin. To get to A, you don't go directly like that. That's not the way this works. You got to go horizontally till you get to the x coordinate of 2. So in order to get to A, we have to move over 2 units positive, and then we got to go up 2 units, then we get to A. So that means that we got to move over positive direction 2 units and then up 2 units. That's how you get to A. And I'm going to put that right in there. Make sure you use this little parenthesis template thing. So we're going to put 2 and then 2 and then let's move this out of there. Delete that. Okay. Check your answer. Well done. Very good. So what is B? First locate B. B is over here. So you start in the center of the world, and then what you're going to do is, in order to get to B, you got to go horizontally in the negative direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it looks like B has to go in the negative direction 5 units. But once you go into the negative direction 5 units, you have to go up 1 unit. Now each of these tick marks is not one. It looks like 2 tick marks represents 1. 2 tick marks. So each tick mark it represents a half. Okay, that's the way they wrote their tick marks on their graph. But just understand that. You have to look at the overall spacing of the numbers to understand what each tick mark is. But to get from here to here, you got to go in a negative direction 5 units, and then we go up 1. So that would be that point there. So you could either use, when I click this, you can either say, well, use this, or you can do it manually. Parentheses, -5, comma, 1, close it. Okay, well done. So what's C? C is over here someplace. So in order to get to C, forget going directly. This is not an airplane. You got to go from the center, horizontal first, 2 units, then down 4. So it's 2 comma 4. Okay, 2 comma -4, not 4. It can't be 4 because 4 would bring you up. We have to go down to get to C. Check your answer. Good job. Number D, D, D. To get to D, we got to go in the negative direction 3 units and then down 5 units, and that down means -5. So we got to go -3, comma, -5, close it. Check your answer. Great job. What's E? Can you guess what E is? 1 unit horizontal, 2 units up is 1 comma 2. Make sure you close off the parentheses, and you have to use those parentheses. Check your answer. Great. I think there was only one more F. Yeah. To get to F, we got to go in a negative direction, -8. And then once we get to -8, we have to go up 3. So that would be, don't say -8 comma 3. That will be wrong. That's good. They want you to have this as an ordered pair. So they want you to put the parentheses around those 2 numbers. And you have to put the parentheses around those 2 numbers because that's the way mathematicians have done this for centuries. I think we're done with that question. And then they talk about quadrants. Well, here, let's make this a little bit bigger. See, when you have an axis that divides the world into 2 parts horizontally, a top and a bottom, and then another axis that divides the world into 2 parts left and right, you've divided the world into 4 basic parts. Those are called the quadrants. And the way you number the quadrants is, this is quadrant 1, and for whatever reason, I don't know why they did this. Let me put it over here. Here. This is the world divided up into 4 sections. This is the first section. This is the main section. This is your x-axis. This is your y-axis. This is your horizontal coordinates. These are your vertical coordinates, y. Now, for whatever reason, they chose to make this quadrant 2. In other words, they went counterclockwise. They went around the clock in the wrong order, not clockwise. They went counterclockwise. I don't know why. And when you put these numbers in, they have to be in Roman numerals too. So don't put down the number 1 and this number 2. That would be wrong. Roman numerals. So this is 1, this is 2, this has to be number 3, and that's just the way it is. You don't question it. That's the 4th quadrant. So which quadrant is the point 5, 6? Well, 5, 6 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we got to go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be the point right there. That point would be in the 1st quadrant. And you don't type 1, type I, capital I. That's Roman numeral. Great job. Now, same thing. Now, where would you plot this point? Is this point? Oh, that point's right there. Okay, they're showing you where 77 -94 is. This is the diagram. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the quadrant that contains that point. You got to type in Roman numeral IV. That's Roman numeral 4. Check your answer. Super. Now, what's number 8? Now, we got to plot this. Now, here's how you plot things. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Grab onto the point. Hold on to the point. I'm holding down with my mouse. 5. Always go horizontal first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, be careful, because it's very easy to move the mouse and inadvertently move that point to some other location. So we're over in the 5, and then we have to go -2. Go down -2. 1, 2. Oh, see, I moved it. See? I let go of it. Be careful with the mouse. So 5, -2. Check your answer. Well done. That's all this is. Introduction to graphing. And so what they want you to do is plot 0, 0. So you can read all this, but the long and the short of it is these are the points that they want you to plot. So 0, 0. Plot 0, 0. Click. We registered it. Check your answer. Good job. 50, 0. So it looks like this major tick mark is 100. This must be 50. So I'm going to take this point and move it 50 horizontal, 2 vertical. There you go. Check your answer. Nice work. You're going to do this for 3 more points. How about 403? Move the point over 400 and then go up to 3. Okay, check your answer. Great job. Then we got 6, 450 and 6. Take that point. Move over to 450 and then go up 6. And then we've got 550. That's 500. That's 600. In between it's 550. So we did the horizontal. Then we got to go up to the vertical. So I guess we got to go all the way up to the top. And that's the answer. Great. So that's the end of the homework, but we skipped a bunch of problems. I think we didn't do the first 3. And the first 3, I think, are things that you can, after you get the last problems, you can answer these first 3 very easily. Points in the quadrant 3, this is quadrant 3, are to the left of the y-axis. Yeah, they're certainly to the left of the y-axis. So we're looking at this region here. And below, okay, so you're left of the y-axis and you're below the x-axis. This is the only region that will make that happen. Well done. And so you can read all that if you want. And let's go to number 2. Fill in the blank with the most appropriate phrase. Each coordinate in the coordinate plane is represented by a pair of numbers called an ordered pair. An ordered pair. Okay, the order matters, and there's a pair of numbers, x, y, ordered pair. Very good. And now we'll go back to number 1. The coordinate plane. Consider this the coordinate plane. It's a fancy word for a sheet of graph paper. A coordinate plane has 2 number lines that intersect at a point. So basically, you have to have 2 lines. They're called the axes, and they intersect at this point, and that point's called the origin, the center of the world. There you go. So we've done the introduction to graphing. We'll see you in homework 3-2. And have a great time, great day, evening, whenever you're watching this video.